Let us derive Heisenberg equation of motion. In Schrödinger pictures, when state vectors psi were evolving in time, we got an equation of motion which is the famous Schrödinger equation. Now in Heisenberg picture, we are going to derive similar kind of equation of motion which tells us that how operators evolve with time. Because in Heisenberg picture, operators change with time. This is standard definition of operator in Heisenberg picture. These e to the power I h t by h cross, these are time evolution operator as we have already discussed. Now we need to first make a derivative of this operator OH in the Heisenberg picture. This gives me this. I have proof of this time derivative which looks like this. So this is my operator. When I do ddt of this operator O, first I do derivative of this with respect to time. It gives me I Hamiltonian operator by h cross. H cross is Planck constant by twice pi, and e to the power I h t by h cross, then the operator OH, then e to the power minus I h t by h cross is here, which remains the same. Second term, we have make a time derivative of this e to the power minus I h t by h cross. So this term e to the power plus I h t by h cross remains the same. The operator OH will not be affected by the ddt, the time derivative, because for the time being I am taking that these operators do not have any explicit time dependence. So derivative of this gives me this, and just after some algebra shuffling of the term, I have obtained this. Now I have switched over, I have just switched the position of IH by H cross and e to the power IHT by H cross, because this is Hamiltonian and this is a function of the Hamiltonian, so they must commute with each other. So I can write this H on the right hand side of this e to the power IHT by H cross. This is exactly I have written here. And so now if I write e to the power IHT by H cross on the left hand side, and on the right hand side e to the power minus IHT by H cross. So within this parenthesis we have this relation. If we take I by H cross outside, this gives me HOH minus OHH. This is an extra H cross, I'm sorry. This should not be here. This I by H cross I have already written here. So this relation is basically the commutation relation of the Hamiltonian and OH with an I by H cross. And this I have written here. If the operator has some explicit time dependence, then I will have this extra term. So in case we have explicit time dependence of this operator, we'll have this term in addition to this, and the Heisenberg equation looks like this. But if OH does not have any explicit time dependence, then the equation modifies as ddt of OH equal to I by H cross and the commutation relation of HOH. That will be the Heisenberg equation of motion. And if this OH is a constant of motion, that needs the left hand side equal to 0, which means both the terms should be equal to 0. First term equal to 0 means the Hamiltonian and the operator, they commute with each other. And of course the second term is saying that OH does not have any explicit time dependence. Now we have an analogy of this Heisenberg equation of motion when this thing happens, and in classical physics we call this as Poisson bracket. Suppose we have an operator A. We have a variable A in classical physics, which is a function of a generalized coordinate and generalized momentum. Then according to classical physics, the Poisson bracket form will be this one. Now this is the Poisson bracket of A and H, and this is classical analog of this equation, except we have this 0. So this is in quantum mechanics, this is in classical physics. And again, if we look into the Dirac's quantization rule, that also leads to the correct equation in quantum mechanics. Now, one thing I would like to say that this equation actually derived by Paul Dirac, and he called it as Heisenberg equation of motion. Now, it sometimes occurs that some variables do not have their classical analog. For example, if we consider spin of a particle, then the Heisenberg equation will look like dSi in Heisenberg picture, and its time evolution that can be written as I by h cross, and Hamiltonian Si, this one. Now this spin does not have any classical analog, because the spin is not a function of generalized coordinates and generalized momentum. Okay, so we may argue that for various quantities which have their classical counterparts, the correct classical equation can be obtained from their quantum mechanical equation. How? This is the quantum mechanical case, and we can switch to classical physics like this. Now, classical mechanics can be derived from quantum mechanics, but the opposite is not true. Okay, we can go from Schrödinger picture to Heisenberg picture to classical.